Hello, talented fourth grade readers. Thank you for joining me for another edition of our YouTube class read aloud of the one and only Ivan. Today our reading comes from pages 34 through 42 in our novel. And I do have permission from the publisher, HarperCollins, to read this read aloud to all of you. Please get a comfy spot. Again, we begin on page 34. Make sure you are following along as an active reader. Today we're going to learn more about Bob, which we know is the dog that calls the same place that Ivan calls home. Bob calls it home as well. They're good friends. We're also going to learn a little bit more about how some of the guests treat Ivan and the other animals that are behind the glass. Does make my heart a little bit sad. Thank you for reading with me today. Here we go. Page 34. Small chapter is called Bob. I explained my plan to Bob. Ivan, trust me on this one. The problem is not your appetite. He hops onto my chest and licks my chin, checking for leftovers. Pause button. When he says the problem is not your appetite, I want to remind you that the last time that we read, they were learning that the foot traffic, meaning the amount of people coming to look at them and visit, and of course then the money that their caretaker makes, hasn't been as much as days before. So the concern is, where are all the people? Why are they not visiting? So he says the problem, that's the problem, is not your appetite. Because remember, Ivan thinks he can just start eat, bulk up, make himself more exciting to see, and that will make a difference, and it will draw more people into their zoo. Let's continue reading. Page 34. Bob is a stray, which means he does not have a permanent address. He's so speedy, so wily, that mall workers long ago gave up trying to catch Bob. Bob can sneak into cracks and crevices like a tracked rat. He lives well off the end of hot dogs he pulls from the trash. For dessert, he laps up spilled lemonade and splattered ice cream cones. I've tried to share my food with Bob, but he's a picky eater and says he prefers to hunt for food. Bob is tiny, wiry, and fast, like a barking squirrel. He is nut-colored and big-eared. His tail moves like weeds in the wind, spiraling and dancing. Bob's tail makes me dizzy and confused. It has meanings within meanings, like human words. I am sad, it says. I'm happy. It says, beware. I may be tiny, but my teeth are sharp. Gorillas don't have any use for tails. Our feelings are uncomplicated. Our rumps are unadorned. Unadorned means there's nothing there. So their rump or their bottom, it has nothing there. Bob used to have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Humans tossed them out of a truck onto the freeway when they were a few weeks old. Bob rolled into a ditch. The others did not. They didn't make it. His first night on the highway, Bob slept in the icy mud of the ditch. When he woke, he was so cold that his legs would not bend for an hour. The next night, Bob slept under some dirty hay near the big top mall garbage bins. The following night, Bob found the spot in the corner of the domain where the glass is broken. I dreamed I'd eaten a furry donut, which was probably Bob, right? And when I woke in the dark, I discovered a tiny puppy snoring on top of my belly. It had been so long since I'd felt the comfort of another's warmth that I wasn't sure what to do. Not that I hadn't had visitors. Mac had been in my domain, of course, and many other keepers. I'd seen my share of rats zip past, and the occasional wayward sparrow had fluttered in through a hole in my ceiling, but they never stayed long. I didn't move all night for fear of waking Bob. think Bob might be kind of lucky. I bet there are many silverback gorillas who wouldn't have been as welcoming if they had a sudden guest in their domain. So it's good that he's friendly. The next chapter, page 37, is called Wild. Once I asked Bob why he didn't want a home. Humans, I'd noticed, seemed to be irrationally fond of dogs, and I could see why a puppy would be easier to cuddle with than, say, a gorilla. Everywhere is my home, Bob answered. I am a wild beast, my friend, untamed and undaunted. In other words, like he's not tamed. No one can control him. I told Bob he could work in the shows like Snickers, the poodle who rides Stella. Bob said, Snickers sleeps on a pink pillow in Mac's office. He said she eats foul-smelling meat from a can. He made a face. His lips curled, revealing tiny needles of teeth. Poodles, he says, are parasites. Parasite is something that feeds off a host or feeds even off of something or someone where they're not welcome. Okay, so he says poodles, parasites. That's a put down. Next chapter, Picasso. Fourth graders, do you recognize that name? Pablo Picasso. Okay. In your art room, Mrs. Coltman, excuse me, Mrs. Coltman had a beautiful painting that was done by Picasso. Her example was more of an abstract art. It was a face, in case that helps your memory. But Picasso's a very, very famous artist. Okay, Picasso. Page 38. Mac gives me a fresh crayon, a yellow one, and 10 pieces of paper. Time to earn your keep, Picasso, he mutters. I wonder who this Picasso is. Does he have a tire swing like me? Does he ever eat his crayons? Probably not, right? But Mac refers to Ivan as Picasso. Remember, Ivan likes to draw, and Ivan considers himself kind of an artist. Okay. I know I've lost my magic, so I try my very best. I clutch the crayon and think. I scan my domain. What is yellow? A banana. I draw a banana. The paper tears, but only a little. I lean back, and Mac picks up the drawing. Another day, another scribble, he says. 1 down, 9 to go. What else is yellow? I wonder, scanning my domain. I draw another banana, and then I draw 8 more. So all of his drawings that day were bananas with his brand new yellow crayon. Okay, that Ivan was his own version of a Picasso that day. Page 40, 3 visitors. 3 visitors are here. A woman, a boy, a girl. I strut across my domain for them. I dangle from my tire swing. I ate 3 banana peels in a row. The boy spits at my window. The girl throws a handful of pebbles. That was disrespectful, right? Sometimes I'm glad the glass is there. My visitors return. After the show, the spit pebble children come back. I display my impressive teeth. I flash my filthy pool. I grunt and hoot. I eat and eat and eat some more. The children pound their pathetic chests. They tossed more pebbles. Slimy chimps, I mutter. I throw a me-ball to them. Sometimes I wish the glass were not there. So before, when they came around the first time and they were disrespectful, he was like, all right, I'm glad that glass is there. It'll keep those disrespectful humans away. But now they're back for a second round. They continue to be disrespectful. He refers to them as slimy chimps. Remember, Ivan doesn't have a whole lot of respect for chimps. In his like ape world or category of gorillas, okay, those are kind of low on the totem pole to him. Okay, he doesn't care for them. He doesn't think they're respectful. He doesn't respect them. So he calls these humans slimy chimps. But this time he says, I wish the glass were not there. As a reader, I think that means he probably wanted to scare them a little bit. Based on what we know about Ivan, he didn't want to hurt them, but he was tired of their disrespect. Last short chapter, page 42 for today, is called Sorry. I'm sorry I called those children slimy chimps. My mother would be ashamed of me. Okay, so in the moment, those words kind of came out quietly out of his lips, but now he's feeling like, it was a poor choice. I shouldn't have called them a name, no matter how frustrated I were, or no matter how they were acting. Okay, he didn't feel very good about his character. Okay. Thank you for reading along with me. As a friendly reminder, if you go into your reading and writing Google Classroom, you will see an assignment for today. It's a reader's response. It's found inside your Reading Reflection Google slideshow. I sent that to you last week. All of you that did your assignment last week, it is now saved in your own personal Google Drive. So you can get to it through Google Classroom, or you can go into your own Google Drive, look for your Reading Reflection slideshow, click it. I added a slide for today. It is dated April 6th, and there are 2 short questions for you to answer today. Remember, please, to answer them in complete sentences with your best grammar and spelling. Thank you for reading along with me today. I send you love and hugs. Miss you. Bye-bye.